Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Okay, since last time I have finished off this brand new copper smelting 6 stack. I have added 25 trains, basically 5 to each of these. They're all fairly close to the stack, so that should be plenty. It might even be too many. I've added so far 21 trains to the plate side of it. I want more, but we basically got to that point where you run out of trains. The ability to, the make everything can only make them so fast. So it got to a point where we couldn't make them fast enough to make, say, another 8. Production-wise, this has thrown copper well over 400,000. Processing units keeps jumping around a bit, but there's the 1.8 over 10 minutes. We're actually only averaging 16 at this point for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. We should on paper be able to do better. Maybe we can't actually consume them fast enough up here. I didn't really calculate it out, if you recall. We have 19 built, which means there's exactly 6 to go, which means there's not very many at all, given that we wanted to build this new copper stack, a new green circuit stack, and a new red circuit stack. So, with that in mind, I have come down to where the new copper stack is, and we are going to set about building or working out how we're going to do it, placing the new green circuit stack. We'll do the green circuits first, then probably the red circuits. Then we will increment plastic to try and cope with the new red circuit stack. Probably coming out here is a reasonable place, or even one further down. I want there to be enough room for 383s to get round, basically, so yeah, maybe we'll go one further down, which of course puts us right next to a bunch of trees. So first up is tree clearance, as it so often is. That's alright. So we want to build a new stack. We're not going to use the only 2 beacon, the top and bottom. We will use full surround. So we're basically aiming for, I guess, this pattern here, which we'd only be able to get 2 rows of. I just don't know how many we need at this point. So that's a crafting speed of 8. I'm basically targeting 200,000, I think. 200,000 new green circuit production, which might seem insane. We may not actually need that. 180 would actually do, especially since production. Well, look, we're at 350, 360,000. I wanted to get it to about 520, so even 160 or maybe 170,000 to be sure. Let's try 170,000. So green circuits are half-second production, so in a normal machine, without beacons or anything else, you get 120 per minute if it's fully supplied. So we'll divide by 170,000 by 120. We'll then divide by the speed of the machine, which is 8. And then we'll divide by 1.4 for the production bonus, the productivity bonus. That suggests we need 126 green circuit machines in this kind of format. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that row gives us exactly 10. Okay, that is unfortunate. I don't really want it longer than that. In fact, that's actually longer than I want it, period. I'd like the greens to be matched up with the inputs, but they're not. And since we need 126, well, maybe we could go with just 120 of those. So we'd just be a tad, would be about 500, and because we were a moment ago we were cranking it at about 350. Suppose all the stars have to be aligned in just the right way for it to do that, though. So if it's 126 and we can do 10 in a row, that's basically 12 rows, so it'd be 3 lots of 4 of these, which is 2 here, 2 here, no short ones, and all of them doing direct feed copper cable. Now these, unlike where you directly feed from a single machine, which is a 1.4 instead of the 1.5 copper cable, by having the extra machine, by having them at both ends, we will be getting the full 1.5 out of each machine. I mean, this isn't the right number of machines. We should have 14. We've only got 10, but that will be fine with the copper cable feeding like this, because we're not getting the full benefit of the extra copper cable machine anyway, because it can't unload fast enough, I think. But we should be round about the full 1.5 benefit, especially for all these ones sort of that are getting fed from both sides. It should even out like that. So that's how that's supposed to work. So we need 3 lots of machines. We want them to come out here. I think that's only a 2-lane. Oh, that's the actual green circuit entrance, right? The product goes in via a 4-lane down there. It doesn't here, but a 4-lane does seem to make a bit of sense. Probably. I mean, I kind of want to copy this bit out and do a mirror of this, but it isn't quite what I want either. Let's start with a 4-lane intersection. We'll sort it out from there. There. Probably something like that. So let's get rid of signals from there, in the hopes that I remembered to update this to whatever signals we actually need for these things. That looks about right. Do I have enough signals on me? Probably not. Let's get some more. See how that goes. That doesn't look quite right, but never mind. So, ideally this will allow this kind of green circuit mechanism and one of those as well. Maybe we'll just do a little bit of straight 4-way to do something like a duplication of that. This obviously needs some work. And we don't have a connection there. So let's fix that. out of rail, and I have far too many wagons on me because of what we were doing previously. You can have wagons for rail. That should be fine. I'm going to need to move this train very shortly as well. Maybe for now we'll just dump out another length of 4-way. Oh, and a little bit of foliage clearance. Right. So, I mean, the stacker isn't perfect, but it is adequate. In fact, we're only far enough out, really, to... this is the iron, good, because that's how I want it to be. I guess what I could do is actually make a copy of all of this, but basically remove all the signals, so all it is bits of rail, and then flip that over. I don't want to turn it 180 because that will put this bit over this end, which I don't really want to do. I do want to flip it, so yeah, let's do that. Let's grab a blueprint. May as well be from there. Out to like there. Something like that. And bother it, we're missing all of this because of the radar. That's actually really annoying. I need to get a radar right in there. I guess we can hoof it. We do have our 6 legs on. I probably should have put an alarm on the fusion reactors build, so I'd know exactly when they're done. But I didn't. We're missing a bit up there still, and this bit here. Or at least we'll have better radar coverage after this exercise. These were needed specifically for this line at some point in time. I'm not sure if I'm going to still need them, but never mind. Okay, let's try that whole exercise again. I don't want to create a new one of these. I want to use the existing one. We need to do it from, say, here. Cover all of that. Quite sure how much further up I want to go. Possibly, oh, that's probably too far actually, because I don't. Never mind. Let's do that for now. Now, I don't want the layouts to be included. That would be that. I don't want the signals. In fact, all I want really is rail. Tick. Map. Back down here. So this will give me a basic rail framework to set this all up. Obviously, InfiniZoom is 100% required for this to make any kind of sense at a fairly large, not too large, but you know, getting up there. And we need to reflect this, so let's do that. Something like this. Let's get out of InfiniZoom. Right, okay, so we got that slightly wrong, but that's alright. It's right to be wrong sometimes. Squeeze this up. And of course the other side as well. Right, I better get my train in here so that we can try and fill out all of these lines. Back up and drive in properly. Oops, forgot that we're facing the wrong. We're facing down rather than up. Slightly hard for me. Let's try that again. Right. So while you do that, let's grab some of your lovely, lovely rail. More of your signals. Not that we actually are using signals, I should have remembered. Well, I mean, we will be using signals, but we haven't actually deployed them at this second. That's kind of what I meant. And actually there's probably no point in the continuation here, so we could probably simplify this bit of rail anyway, and probably will do so. No point laying extra rail down pointlessly. Might be overkill having this much coming up here, but never mind. We certainly probably don't need that bit either. Come on, little train. Oh, you are out of rail again. Fair enough. Head down this bit. This is where remembering to have swapped over the configuration in the suit probably would have helped, but never mind. You can always just cheat after the fact without too much ill effect from those sorts of things. Now, I mean, this basic approach to getting into here is fine. It's just the dual versus single, well, yeah, the full surround beacons versus just the 8 beacons, 12 beacon versus 8 beacon setup that we dramatically kind of need to change. This isn't going to work for long. Trees belong in there. Yes, they're going to need to go into the next one as well, probably. As well as a little bit of a hurry up here to their endless charging requests. Oh my goodness. Come on. Alright. More trees. That's you done. What about you? So this could take a little bit of time. I'm not sure if we're going to have this whole thing kind of fleshed out by the time this episode is done or not. Oops. Too much wood. Maybe it is time to press on back this way, where we can use some more of this rail that I've just grabbed. Oh, that will do. We can use that to get back on this track and head down. So the idea of grabbing this one is that we'd already set it up, so there's basically the length of a 383 between each one. Yeah, this corner has to be changed because I'm going to need 3 of these. I need it to be basically like, well, I need that actually is okay for that one. This one needs to adopt this sort of approach, so it needs to carry on through, and this has done that a little bit too soon, which would mean yeah, I want basically 3 of these setups. Damn trees. Trees that are impossible to navigate through. Incredible things only found on this alien planet. Yeah, we might need a rubbish train built for this fairly soon. I don't think my poor little engineering train is going to be able to cope. In fact, what I might even do is do a runner to my engineering train for the copper stack. Assuming that we can actually exit this, those bots can catch up. I'm not even sure if I'm on the right side of the road. At this point, I probably am not. In that case, we'll go this way. Now, if we head to Copper Smelting 6, hashtag Copper Smelting 6 for the pack station, then I can get rid of all of this tree and we'll be able to carry on with our build for a bit longer. Oh. Except that I have left this train here, so I think you need to find a home back at landfill 3, and actually I'll call you, don't call me. And we need to get back on board before our train takes off. While we're doing this, let's have a quick look at Rocket 20. What are they called? Fusion reactors. Only 5 left, so yes, we continue to fairly quickly run out of time. I want to empty out all the wood that appears in here so that I can reuse the engineering train. Capacity for something more productive than... There we go, just wait for this little bit to clear out. And the rubbish train has got about 10k wood to come and pick up, so there you go. Let's try not to collect it on the way out. Whoops, wrong turn. I was trying to look at this one at the same time as checking here. That's not a good idea. Let's head down here and hang a hard turn there. Fortunately, none of these have any marching orders at this point. 5 fusion reactors left. That really won't take too much longer, so it just shows you we will not have this thing completely done. Whoops. Idiot. Who's driving this thing? That's right, I made it so that you could only get out on the lane that you're already in, because there's no point having all those extra decisions for the train. Now, hammer it through there. This is for the green circuits themselves. And I've somehow lost most of my bots somewhere, so we're going to have to wait for them to come back. Guess we can use this pause to grab more rail if I have any more. I don't. Come on, bots, where are you? Come home. Not going to want any of this here. I'm pretty sure this is probably where we are building our stacker. Can't see any other way up here. Well, I basically want, I guess it's just the continuation of that there. So I kind of, I want this bit here as well that I can't see. Here we go, here's our bots. Not quite sure how many I have active right now, but it must be getting a little bit better. We're almost all full on trees yet again. Oh no, there's nothing there to be too concerned about. So, let's, I don't need all of that, let's just clear it. I basically want, from there, well actually I don't need all of that, I only kind of need half of that, so let's do this with fast legs, because we have to run to do it. I basically want this, so this one should fit over the bit that we've put down at the top, and this will make what was a 2 stack, a 2 sort of subunit stack, into a 3 unit sub stack. It will make sense when I have used InfiniZoom to get it down to size. Now that should fit basically perfectly like so. It doesn't quite, but we'll cope. Oh, excuse me. I can't see where I am, so let's get back out of InfiniZoom. There we go. So we don't need all of this extra. Just one thing there will do. We obviously need a chunk more rail. We don't want any of that, or that, or that. Or, you know, any of this stuff. What I'm going to do is go offline, run back to engineering, refill the engineering train with rail, and then we will start stamping down the actual green circuit build. It shouldn't take particularly long. We should be able to do that in the remainder of this episode, so I will see you soon, guys. And back. So I've filled in the rest of the rail here. Rail car is just here. You can see the 3 sections that we now have, with the plates coming in from and exiting from this side, and the green circuits coming in and exiting sort of up here. Obviously it looks like there's a few little segments here that haven't quite been filled yet, but we'll sort that out soon. So the next bit is the top section. No, I don't need to go in there. I have one already, which is basically this contraption here. It looks like we're losing a little bit. Oh, we're losing a lot quite there. That is not so good. I don't really want to lose that. I'm going to have to run over there or jump on my train, go to... Well, let's find a way out manually first, and then we can navigate to the environment there. Hopefully we're heading in the right direction. There's that little bit that we hadn't filled in. Once we're back out here, we should be able to set it to go to hashtag GC2. Once I find it, there you go. We're at 5 fusion reactors to go for the spaceship. So, yeah, there is that. Now, over here we need a radar so that I can see all of these trains in their glory. And up there we need a radar. I have no idea what impact radars actually have on UPS. I can't imagine it's a lot, in all honesty. When you look at what they're uncovering, maybe, but just by themselves, probably not so much. Anyway, having one of these probably is a good idea, so we may well repeat that. Let's grab our blueprint. There it is. I guess just for where... oh, that's not going to do. I need to come right out to about here. And then I'm not sure how far up to go, so something like that. And again, I basically just want the rail, so all the rest of this can go away for now. Let's flip it over, put it down here. If we tell this to send us to copper smelting the 6, that should work quite well. Actually, that one will work just as well. Now, I think we're going to run into a small problem very soon, which means more landfill, actually. But we'll see the extent of that problem when we get there. Whoops, manual. Let's just run back up here. Now, driving on the other side of the road for me, so I'm excused any weird actions. Can't be held responsible when I'm not used to this side of the road. This is our extra section, a little bit of Invini zoom just to get it into perspective. And yeah, you can see that we are getting into the water here, though maybe not as badly or, you know, as much as would cause us a huge level of concern. But we will need to do some more landfill for sure. And we are trying to line up directly into that, which probably doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'll probably have to redirect this top end when we get to it, but certainly we do need that extra landfill done. So let us run up to the landfill train via map view. You need to go back to landfill New Southwest until inventory empty, because we need you. I guess what we'll do is I will do this landfill off camera. We are fairly close to finalising the green circuit build, but it's probably going to have to wait to another episode, because otherwise this one will run overly long. It's basically stamped down this extra, connected up. We've got lots of signals to fix because we removed all of them. So that could be fun in itself. Maybe there's something we can borrow to help us out with that. What is that? That's an interesting section. Let me just see how... I probably even have this section sitting somewhere, but I basically want... because this actually is correct. So I kind of want that. And a much smaller Invini zoom is... Oh, that's right. I was trying to make those into 4s, wasn't I? And that's designed for that. It's not designed for that. So that part of the arrangement is not going to work. Also, we are pushing into the side there a little bit, so that's not good either. Do I still have... 14. That's the design that I used. That seems a little bit short and a little bit different product. Well, we'll sort that out next time. There may not be quite as much room to push for these stacks because of this here. So we force it over here sort of a little aggressively. I mean, it kind of fits if we are a bit shorter. Never mind, we'll sort that out next episode. So thanks for joining me for this one. Look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.